What's up, people? What's up? What's up? What's up? How is everybody doing? Okay. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's having a good week. Hope everybody's having a good night. Welcome to an emergency podcast hosted by yours truly and only yours truly. Normally, my other half, Mr. Glenjamin Shelton, is here with me hosting these for you guys. But tonight, I felt inspired to come on here. Glenn was not available. Glenn has a family and is a busy person. And so tonight, you guys get me. I wanted to kind of go over some things with you guys that I had been kind of thinking about. I just came back from beautiful Idaho, to which I spent the last couple of days in. And I really have not been home much at all because previously to that, I spent about 3 days at an Airbnb, a couple of hours away from my home with my family. And, I've had a lot of time to let things kind of swim around in my head. And I wanted to kind of bring you guys some value tonight. As we get closer and closer to AEP, some people say that AEP really, truthfully, starts September 1st. And you could certainly make that argument. But I want to talk to you guys about AEP with the standpoint that it's really, in my mind, October 1st. I really think that September is pre-AEP. Certainly you get calls from clients that are starting to see advertising. The commercials are typically starting on the television. And your clients are calling. It does start to get a little bit hectic, but really, in my opinion, the madness begins October 1st. So what I wanted to spend some time talking to you guys about tonight is I wanted to spend some time talking to you guys about, in my opinion, 3 things that are required for AEP success. And when I say AEP success, I mean absolutely crushing it, knocking it out of the freaking park, okay? Whatever kind of enrollments that you've done in the past, let's talk about doubling that. Let's talk about tripling that potentially, maybe quadrupling that, depending on where your number actually may have lied. Just feeling like having a drink with you guys tonight, so hope you don't mind. So let's have this conversation, you guys. What are the 3 things I think that you need to have AEP success? So I'm going to name them for you right now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to elaborate and go into detail on all 3. So the first one you need is lead flow. Lots of reliable, diverse, high-quality lead flow. Number 2, systems and processes. And number 3, you need a retention plan for your existing clients if you already have a book of business that's established. Now, if you don't have much of a book of business and you're going into AEP and maybe this is your first AEP, or maybe this is your first AEP that you're really taking this shit seriously, you don't even need to worry about number 3. You need to worry about 1 and 2, uno and dos, right? So some of you watching this might be relatively new, and some of you that are watching it might only have to worry about 1 and 2, lead flow and systems and processes. And maybe you don't even need to worry about a retention plan, but plenty of you do, so we're going to talk about that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of jump into all 3 of these one at a time. Do me a favor, guys, too. If you're watching this live, comment in the comment section if my audio is coming through good. I don't have any of my better microphones here at my house. You think I would, but they're actually all at the office in my studio. So I just want to make sure, first off, that before I get too deep into this thing, that you guys can hear me okay. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Perfect. Just wanted to make sure of that. Okay, so let's have this conversation about these three elements because they're very, very important, and they all serve their own intricate purposes in order to play a role in you really having a fantastic AEP. So first thing we got to talk about is lead flow. Now, everybody that watches this is going to be in a different stage of their business. So it's very difficult to kind of give you guys a blanket explanation of exactly what is going to be right for everybody. And truth be told, even if you are in the same stage or, place in your journey as somebody else, you might have a different way that you like to do business than somebody else. So there isn't really a blanket statement for everybody, but you need to make sure that you have enough people to talk to. Simply point blank, having enough people to talk to is everything in this business if you're trying to be a producer. It's the most important thing, having enough people to talk to. There's so many people in our industry that get so bogged down on everything other than having enough people to talk to. They get so wrapped up in compliance. They get so wrapped up in, their logo, their branding, this and that, and this and that, that they forget about the most important part. They get so bogged down in knowing every little tiny detail of Medicare, knowing, knowing billing codes and like all this really detailed and intricate stuff. And then once they know this stuff and they know it well, then they're like, okay, great, I'm ready to go talk to people. And they have no one to talk to. And they're the most knowledgeable person that's staring at the wall and talking to the wall because they have no one to talk to. A mediocre agent in terms of their knowledge of Medicare, but prioritizes getting in front of people, is going to win against somebody that prioritizes knowing every little thing that doesn't prioritize getting in front of people. Now, I'm not saying that you don't need to know your stuff. Certainly that's ideal. It's a part of the puzzle, right? The success of your business can be best thought of as a puzzle. And every little piece is going to fit together very specifically, right? But certain pieces of the puzzle are bigger than others, and they're going to form more of the picture of your puzzle than others. That's the analogy we're going to go with tonight. And so I think that having enough people to talk to is by far the biggest piece of your puzzle that you can possibly have. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can get people to talk to. I've said it many, many, many times. It's funny. I've heard lately a lot of people that, do trainings and videos, live streams and things like that. They've started saying this phrase I'm about to say, and they're like, they'll say things like, I've always said, and then they'll say this. And I'm like, well, I've never heard you say that before. I've been saying this for years. Literally my first 2 or 3 YouTube videos, I talked about this. All business is going to cost you one out of 2 assets, time or money. And everybody, depending on where you're at in your business, has more of one or the other to give. So typically, if you're newer and you just got your license, maybe, you've been in the last 6 months or so, you might have more time to give than money. You might not have two pennies to rub together that you can spend on marketing or buying leads or lead flow of any kind. So you make up for that by getting out into the community and building referral partner relationships, maybe doing very, very inexpensive seminars, Medicare 101s, working with 55 and up communities, trying to build relationships with doctors' offices, dentist offices, financial planners. Some would call this grassroots marketing. Grassroots marketing is best when you don't have a lot of marketing money to spend, right? And the other side of the coin is when you have finances available to spend to save you time. So maybe if you have less time available, you're busy as can be, but you still want to write business, then it makes more sense to part with some money in order to attract interested parties to you, right? So that way you can have conversations with people, and you don't have to spend all this time out there pounding the pavement, right? And hustling and hustling and hustling. So for me, I would say if you're doing paid advertising, ultimately the best type of lead that you can get is one that you generate yourself outside of a referral. I'm not talking about referrals. I'm not talking about those kind of things. Ultimately, a referral is always going to be the best type of lead you get. A referral, somebody that reaches out because of some content marketing that you're doing online. Those are the two best leads that I've ever experienced myself as an agent. But if you're talking about simply lead flow, the best quality of lead that you're going to get is one that you've actually generated yourself. And in my opinion, I think that there is three things that in a vacuum are going to work in more places than not when you're doing your own type of marketing and your own type of lead flow. I think you guys probably know this. I'm incredibly bullish right now on seminars. I think seminars are working really well in a lot of different places if they're done correctly. There's a process to it, and there's a process that we've developed that actually, has been very good for us. Certainly, all seminars for the most part are going to be a little bit up and down, but, I wouldn't say we have any flops with our seminars. We usually have worst case scenario, 10, 15 people. And oftentimes we have 20, 25, 30 plus people that come to our seminars. And that is a great thing because you can spend an hour and a half, 2 at the most, with a multitude of people that you can present to all at once. There's an efficiency aspect to it. And people like to go to seminars. People like to go out. People like the in-person interaction. So I'm very bullish right now on seminars. The other one is Facebook ads. Now, when I say Facebook ads, some people hear that and they say, well, I've tried Facebook ads before and, it didn't have good results, or, I know somebody that maybe didn't have good results, or I don't know how to do that. Facebook ads can very much be an incredibly large money suck, and it can just drain your money without much results if you're not quite sure how to do it. You have to know how to do it properly. And, there's certainly an art form to it, because when you think about a Facebook ad, there's a couple of different elements. There's the ad copy. There's the wording that the person is actually seeing that's kind of drawing them in. What is the hook, right? What is the sense of urgency? What is the pain point in that ad copy that's being hit on to kind of capture the person's, interest, to kind of get them to stop scrolling? Because really it's just pain to put an ad in their scroll feed on Facebook. The other thing is the image, the video, whatever that, image or video is going to look like. It has to capture their attention, it has to be engaging, and it has to go directly in line with the ad copy. And then if you're sending the traffic somewhere to a landing page, that kind of stuff, it has to be something that's going to be capable of getting them to actually pull the trigger and provide the information, right? So like, and then and in addition to those things, you also need to make sure that you're targeting right. You guys wouldn't believe how often I get targeted with Medicare ads. I'm not old enough, from people in like other states, people like in Kansas or like Maryland, or, there was one the other day. I think it was like, I want to say it was like a Missouri agent, a local Missouri agent that was clearly by their ad copy and their wording looking for people in Missouri local to them for Medicare. And I'm seeing the ad as a 31-year-old person, clearly not on Medicare, clearly not old enough, and I'm living in a completely different state. And they don't have their targeting right on their ad. So you have to make sure your targeting is in line. You're targeting the right kind of person. And then when you get a little bit more into the weeds, you can retarget people, right? And so it's and really what happens is when you are showing your ad to somebody who's clearly not your target audience, like they could show me as many ads as they want, they're never going to get me as a customer because I'm not old enough. I couldn't buy even if I wanted to, right? So they're every time, and if I'm seeing it, imagine how many other people like me that are not even able to buy are seeing it, and they're just letting Facebook eat away at their ad spend, right? And so, I think Facebook ads with the additional detail that you have to learn it and actually invest the time into it and be able to know what you're doing with it for it to actually work. But if you can get it figured out, and I think it's easier to run Facebook ads successfully today than it's ever been. I think they've made the platform easier than it's ever been, simpler. It can be great. And I'd say the third thing in terms of like generating your own leads, that are leads that you generate, not buying leads from a vendor, is doing like a very intricate postcard system, to where you're sending out multiple mailers. They stand out, your pictures on them typically, ideally, and it's a multiple campaign kind of thing, so that's a really good thing. I'm actually watching your guys' questions, by the way. I am going to come back to them and I'm going to get to them. I say all this to say there's not enough time in a training like this, in a video like this, in a stream like this, for me to just break down every little detail of how you guys can learn how to run Facebook ads. But if you guys didn't see, we have a massive, massive sale going on right now for Six Figure Medicare University. It's my training platform that I've built, and it has literally every little detail of my business in it, in terms of how you can actually learn all this stuff. We have Facebook ad trainings. We have, it'll teach you how to do, we do all this stuff, from the postcard system to the Facebook ads to the seminars. We put so much seminar material into Six Figure Medicare University this year. It's mind-blowing. We have a recording of me hosting a seminar from start to finish, to a full room of people. We also have a live training that I did, to where I break down everything in terms of how we advertise our seminars, to what time we do them on, what days we do them on, how we find a location. Every detail you need is what's going to cost you. Every detail of how we do our seminars is put into that training in Six Figure Medicare University. Usually Six Figure Medicare University, guys, is $2,500. It's on sale right now for $695 until Friday. I'm going to throw a link in actually the live stream locations, just in case you guys didn't get the memo on that. But yeah, to answer some of the questions I've seen about like, how can you actually, learn how to do this stuff, that's going to be how to do it. That's going to be how you're actually going to go about doing it, is you got to learn somewhere. And we've put together a great platform that kind of teaches you how to do this stuff. Hang on, I'm just dropping some links for you guys. on the various platforms, and then I'll kind of continue on what we're talking about here. So anyway, I mean, ultimately, if you are not confident in generating your own leads, and you're maybe you're not there yet, right? And AEP is just around the corner. Understandable. There are always options that you can buy leads from vendors. Buying a lead from a vendor is never going to be as good of quality or as cost effective as when you generate yourself. The reason why self-generation leads are so vital is, maybe you could get into the university, go through it, and actually teach yourself how to do some of this stuff and be able to do some of it during AEP, specifically Facebook ads. You could possibly do that, but it takes a little time to learn and try it out and test and those kind of things. But the reason why self lead generation is so important and so vital is because it's going to be a lower cost lead than when you buy from a vendor, and it's also going to be a higher intent lead. It's a better quality lead because you are controlling the verbiage and you're controlling the messaging and everything else in between that lead is seen, leading up to when they actually pull the trigger and submit their information to you. So that's number one. Number two, there's no markup cost for the marketing services that is being provided. You're the marketer at that point. So you're not paying an upcharge for the lead company or the marketing company to generate it. And then the last thing is you can guarantee it's real time because you control it, and you can guarantee it's not being sold to 15 other agents. Tons of lead vendors and lead companies out there tell you that their leads are exclusive, their leads are real time, but you have no way of knowing that. You just have to take their word for it. So there's certainly lead vendors we recommend over others if somebody goes that way. And not to say that we never buy leads. Sometimes we're short and we need to buy them just from volume's sake to make sure that all of our agents have enough leads to work to keep them busy. But ideally, our focus is self-lead generation. And Six Figure Medicare University kind of teaches you how to do that. But those are my top 3 right now ways that you can do self-lead generation. The second step to having a successful AEP, I mentioned a second ago, is systems and processes, right? Hang on, there's just a couple questions I want to get to before we jump into systems and processes here. Seeing everybody. Okay. Let's see. Facebook landing page for new agents without a website. How? A landing page really is a simple one-page website, and you can build one in Go High Level. You can build one in ClickFunnels. There's a couple different places. The university shows you how to do it. What CRM do you use? We use Agency Block and we use DFY, Eric Fierro's system DFY. We use them in combination. The reason why we use both is we have virtually 2 sides of our business. We have an FMO side where we work with agents, mentor agents, and we have a book of business side. And then we have leads. So we have a lot of varying needs. Most people don't need 2 CRMs. Most people just need one. So Agency Block is good. Radius Bob is a very good CRM. I love DFY. Love my friend Eric Fierro's system DFY. Those would be probably my top 3. And if you need more details on that, I can drop a video link that I recorded that actually walks through the pros and cons of all 3. I didn't see your recording of your seminar. Can you lead me to it? I can't see your name because I'm on StreamYard. I will go back and reply to your comment later. And I'll answer that for you. It's under a specific section if you've bought into the university, so I can help you find it. But I'll come back and reply to that later. So I'm not forgetting or ignoring. I'll come back to that. If you use one of the high-level CRMs, you can make a great landing page without needing a general website. Exactly. Yes. A Go High-level system like Eric's DFY is hosted on Go High Level, allows you to build very simple, very easy landing page websites. And it's very, very user-friendly. It's not super technical. You don't need to know how to code or anything like that to make one. but it allows you to make simple websites on there. So like we have a bunch of different websites in our business that we use, but some of them that you guys might be familiar with is like the 7-Figure Medicare Agent Summit website, our conference, our yearly conference. That website is hosted in Go High Level, in DFY, which is Go High Level. We have several of our intake forms hosted in Go High Level. We have our contracting website hosted in Go High Level. We have 6-Figure Medicare University hosted in Go High Level. So there's a lot of functionalities there, and that's a great investment, in my opinion, DFY. All right, guys, so let's talk about systems and processes. Okay, that's the second of the 3 steps that you guys need to, in my opinion, have down in order to have a good AEP. So obviously, with systems and processes, it's going to be probably easier for a more established agent with a clientele and an actual business already to carry out a systems and process. Now, it doesn't mean if you're new that you can't do anything with systems and processes, but I'll explain what I mean. Systems and processes allow you to get things done in a timely manner and allow you to focus the maximum of your time and your efforts on seeing new clients and writing new business. So it can come in many forms. It can come in an employee, maybe somebody that you're able to hire into your business to help you with customer service, communication throughout AEP, scheduling appointments even. Scheduling appointments can be a very time suck. It really can be if you're not careful. So what's nice is if you have somebody that, can help you in your business, that can help you schedule an appointment. So that way you don't have to waste time on scheduling an appointment, right? So for us, when I think of systems and processes, I think of CRMs, right? So like coming back to like a Go High Level CRM, DFY, that system is going to allow you, or Radius Bob will do something similar. Agency Block can do something similar. Not exactly in the same functionalities. They all kind of have their own features, but a good CRM allows you to automate tasks. So you can automate mass communication with your book of business, with your leads. It helps you follow up with leads. It helps you touch base with consumers and clients and things like that during AEP. And it does it through text messages. It does it through emails. And that would be what I would call a system. It's essentially saving you a lot of time by sending out mass communications all at once. So I'll give you an example. We will be sending out, and I've talked about this before. I've actually made posts about this in the Facebook group, so some of you might already be aware of this. But we use one of our systems to send out mass emails to all of our clients. We actually sent the first of those emails out on the 1st of September. And essentially what they were saying was we send an email to our Medicare supplement clients. We sent another email to our Medicare Advantage clients, and they mirrored what our letters were that we mailed to those clients. We send out a Medicare supplement letter. We send out a Medicare Advantage letter, essentially just letting them know that, that AEP is upon us. They're going to start seeing a lot of advertisements. We carry a multitude of options. We are still their agent. We're still here. We're still looking out for them. All that good stuff, all that jazz. On the 1st, we have an email that goes out to specific bunches of clients that are on a certain plan. So like, let's say we have, XYZ insurance companies, PPO in a certain state. Well, we can send out an email to those people in bulk that essentially touches on the different changes that they have coming. If we can put the ANOC for the plan in there, it can have a recording of a private video that I attach in there. Like maybe I record a video, I'll put it up on YouTube, make it private so nobody can see it unless they have the link. And we'll put that in there. And it's like a little 3 to 5 minute video of me explaining the plan's changes and sending that out. And we'll do one for every group of clients that we have a large amount of clients in. So if we have, 50 clients on a plan, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 clients on a plan. We have 1,000 clients on a plan. We can then hit them with these emails. And we do that, and we typically do this every year. We change the process up, and we always adapt and evolve it. But what this allows us to do is we're sending the changes over to them. A lot of people, not all, but a lot of people will respond to us pretty quickly within a couple of days after they've had a chance to review the email. And they'll say, hey, Christian, or hey, Christian Brindle Insurance team or CBIS team, thank you so much for this communication. I've been very happy with my plan. Thank you for letting me know about these changes. Everything still looks in line with what I need. I'm good. I'm happy. I just want to stay put for another year. What does that accomplish? That's a person we don't have to worry about. We've done a follow-up in mass, in bulk. So what is that? That's a process involved with a system, right? Having a Calendly link. If you guys have Calendly and you're not paying the $100 a year for Calendly Pro, you're crazy. You should be, because Calendly Pro allows you more automation features to where you can set it up in the back-end office, and it's very easy to do, to where it will essentially send reminders to the person that you scheduled an appointment with. You put their email in there, and it's going to send them a reminder 24 hours before the appointment if it's scheduled multiple days in advance. It'll send them an email 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour before your appointment and remind them that your call is coming. This actually helps. Your appointments to remember, and you have less no-shows if if you're calling them, or if you're even going to their house. So that's a process. That's a system. That's a process. So systems and processes to make your life easier. AEP follow-up is a process. So for us, our team internally is going to call all of our Medicare Advantage clients. We do it every year, and it's a group effort. We have multiple team members in our office that actually work together to do this, but we'll call our Medicare Advantage members, and we'll do it in the first, probably week and a half, 2 weeks of October, and we'll walk through their changes with them. The same information that's included in the email that goes out for anybody that doesn't check their email. Maybe they don't have an email. Maybe we don't have their email, whatever the case might be. And, for the people that want to change, we schedule an appointment to get them changed, but a majority of them typically don't want to change. And of course, we have our short list of people that take 25 meds that we need to review everything every single year. Certainly, that is there as well, but that's not the average person. That's not the majority. That's the minority, right? So that's another process to help us with our AEP retention. It's efficient, and the writing agent doesn't have to spend all their AEP rewriting their existing clients and talking to their existing clients and explaining the same thing 20,000 times. It's a team effort, right? So that comes when you're able to have a team. So some of these things you can do on your own. Some of these things you need more people to do. What's the name of that app? That's Calendly. That's Calendly. So everybody has a Calendly account. Most people do, but not everybody. Most people are using the free version. You should be using the pro version. You should be willing to pay the $100 a year for the pro version, because it's certainly worth it. So systems and processes. Again, Six Figure Medicare University goes into depth on all of our systems and processes. It goes into depth on our automation. It goes into depth how we use Go High Level, DFY. It goes into depth on how we use Agency Block, how we record our phone calls, how we store our phone calls, do it all automatically. It goes into depth on what my staff members do, what my team members do. There's training videos on that in there where they actually, several of them are actually talking about what they do on a day-to-day basis, what their tasks look like, how they do their jobs, everything like that. So all of that on our systems and processes is in Six Figure Medicare University. The third thing that we talked about was retention. Now that kind of can bleed together with systems and processes. Some things about systems and processes help with retention. Other things with systems and processes help you with lead follow-up, with scheduling appointments, with all of that stuff, right? So that's going to kind of bleed into both categories, but it is its own category as well. We are very much very, very good at our retention, right? So we have thousands of clients internally. And we keep 95% of them every year with our retention system and our follow-up system. So our follow-up system looks something like this. We first send out an email, as I mentioned, and a letter September 1st. It's already gone out. That basically just tells them that, if they have a Medicare supplement, we're telling them that their Medicare supplement's not changing. Their benefits never changes, but their prescription drug plan will be. And then we're telling them that their Medicare Advantage plan will be going through some changes, and we're going to be calling them to go over those changes. Those letters are in 6-7-figure Medicare Agent Facebook group, publicly for all to see. So if you guys want to see them, search the group. They're there. I posted them probably in the last couple of weeks. I don't remember exactly. And so that's our first step. Then, as I mentioned, October 1st, in September, we build and schedule these emails to go out specifically for each plan where we have a lot of members on one plan. That goes out October 1st, which this year will be on a Sunday. October 2nd, which is Monday, our office begins calling our Medicare Advantage members. This year, because of the striking PDP changes, we're probably going to be calling the MedSup people too because of their PDPs, which is certainly going to increase our job from years past. In years past, we haven't called our MedSup members. We've just communicated with them through email, letters, and then the ones that take a billion drugs, we would follow up with on our own. But or if their PDP was doubling or tripling in price or something like that. So many PDPs this year, like we saw the WellCare ones. Some of the WellCare plans are, $0 premiums in some markets, but the tier 3s are 25%, 30% co-insurance. So the Aetna plans are 35% on tier 3s is what I believe it was. It's a killer. Not a $45 set copay anymore. $47 set copay on some plans. $48 set copay. It's a killer for anybody that takes any extensive amount of brand name prescriptions, tier 3s, tier 4s, that kind of stuff. So we probably will be calling our Medicare supplement members this year, which in years past we haven't, and that certainly will add to our workload. But we will be getting through it as efficiently as anybody because of our processes. Okay. Ideally, before the 15th, we have dealt with probably 95% of our existing clients. And of course, there's ones that are going to need to change their plans. We figure everything out for them before the 15th. And then on October 15th, we get with them. We quickly do an electronic app over the phone, or we have them come in and sign something real quickly. And we'll do it in bunches. We've already done the appointment. So the enrollment will probably take 5 minutes and then we move on. Right. And so by the time the 15th comes, probably 95% of our existing book of business work is done. Now, certainly there's people that, don't get back with us. They don't return our calls, that kind of stuff. And they will trickle in throughout AEP, but at least it's not an avalanche that's just constantly just hitting us. We're working our butts off to make sure that we get as much of it taken care of early as we can. Right. So that is our customer retention efforts. And of course, part of customer retention is doing a great job for your clients in the off season outside of AEP, right? So what are you doing all year to make your clients' lives easier? If they need a new ID card, are you ordering it for them, or are you telling them to call the carrier? Little things like that, right? So like we help them with their claims. We help them resolve their claims. We'll order their ID cards for them. Which is really easy to do. Like in Humana, you can just do it in the portal. You don't have to call anybody. Or is it Humana or United? I don't even know. I don't order the ID cards. My team does that. So forgive me if I misspoke there, but it's one of those two that will let you do it right from the portal. I think it's United, now that I think about it, in Jarvis. Or they both might. I can't remember. But, little things we will help with. We will help them with it all year round. We'll provide them an incredible, impeccable customer service. We will fix things for them, and we will earn their trust all year round. That helps us retain their business during AEP. Everybody says with AEP, all the big time people anyway, say that AEP really is a year-round thing. If you want your prospecting to go well during AEP, prospect all year round. And you'll run into people that want to work with you, but you can't help them. They don't have an election period. They're on the best plan, but you can follow up with them during AEP. You get their permission to do so. You're building an AEP pipeline. And having an AEP pipeline is a big chunk of how we're able to write so much business, because we historically have prospected all year round, and we have a big laundry list of people that we can follow up with that we've worked on throughout the year. So prospecting is more effective during AEP if you're prospecting all year round, and your customer service is more effective during AEP if you're providing great service all year round. So the moral of that story is being a year-round person and not a seasonal agent helps you be more successful. Certainly, I know people that make, a couple $100,000 a year. They really only work during AEP. That's not my business. I don't think you can grow to the level and the success of my business doing that. But yeah, I think a small piece of it is doing impeccable work, prospecting, customer service outside of AEP, and that compounds and helps your AEP be more successful on both fronts. Doesn't mean you can't accomplish those things during AEP if you don't, but it certainly helps when you're active with your clients and actively prospecting in the off season. Again, guys, I break down all of this information step by step in intimate detail in Six Figure Medicare University. It's over 180 videos of content, and it is basically my entire business. My entire business is in that training. We update it all the time. We put new trainings in every week. So if you're not a member already and you've ever wanted to be a member, this is the time. We are discounting this thing 75%. So it's discounted from $2,500 to $695.95 up until Friday night. And we will not be offering it at this price again. We just did a couple sales this year where we discounted it to this lower price. And with AEP approaching, I want to make sure that as many of you as possible get the opportunity to join the program and get this information. There's been tons of agents that have worked with us that have been students in the platform that have doubled their income in a year, tripled their income in a year, just absolutely exploded their businesses. And that hopefully could be you as well. Of course, it involves you going through the content. It involves you, putting the content, putting what you're learning into motion and putting action in. But the information is there. The information is there, and it's basically our entire business. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to kind of jump in here tonight and, do this live stream with you, provide you really what I was kind of thinking about are the three basic principles of what you need to be successful during AEP. I hope this was helpful for some of you. I hope, you got some value out of this on a Wednesday night. And yeah, we'll be doing more content for you guys and more streams and providing more value leading up to AEP. And we'll see you guys later. Hope you guys have a great night. And here's to a massive AEP for everybody. Later, guys.